Irish supporters love saying they beat South Africa head-to-head. They point to their structure, their home dominance, their tactical intelligence. They claim the rankings don't tell the full story. But here's the uncomfortable truth they don't want to hear. South Africa sits at number 1 while Ireland sits at number 3. And that gap exists for very specific reasons that become obvious the moment you dig deeper. This isn't about disrespecting Ireland. They're an exceptional team with legitimate achievements. But when you compare what it takes to win on neutral ground, when everything is on the line, against the absolute best opponents, the Springboks have proven something Ireland simply hasn't. And that's why this debate, despite what Irish supporters claim, has a clear answer. Two completely different ways of playing rugby, both sitting at the absolute top, and nobody can definitively say which approach wins when everything is on the line. Let's start with what we know for certain. Ireland currently sits in 3rd place, having dropped behind New Zealand, but even when they held 2nd place, the same questions remained unanswered. Can they win away from home against elite opposition? Can they handle the pressure of knockout rugby? Can they match physicality with teams built on forward dominance? Simple enough, right? Except rankings measure what happened across dozens of matches against different opponents in different conditions. They don't answer the only question that actually matters: who would win if these two teams met tomorrow on neutral ground with a trophy on the line? That's where the numbers stop mattering and the real argument begins. Here's why this debate is impossible to settle. South Africa just won back-to-back rugby championships and holds a World Cup trophy. Ireland has been untouchable at home and dominated European rugby for years. Rankings tell you who has performed better across multiple matches against various opponents under different conditions. They don't tell you who would win a single contest between two teams on a neutral field, and that distinction matters enormously when trying to determine who is truly the best. South Africa's case for being number 1 is built on concrete achievements. They are the reigning World Cup champions, having won the tournament in 2023. They are back-to-back rugby championship winners, proving their dominance in the Southern Hemisphere. They have defeated New Zealand and New Zealand by record margins, including a victory that represented the All Blacks' worst home defeat in history. They have developed squad depth that allows them to rotate players without dropping performance levels. And crucially, they have proven they can win the matches that matter most when pressure is at its absolute peak. The Springbok playing style is built on foundations that have served them for generations. Set-piece dominance gives them a platform. Forward power gives them control. Physical confrontation gives them an edge. And now, with the addition of attacking dimensions under Tony Brown's coaching, they can hurt opponents in multiple different ways. They can grind you down through forwards. They can kick you into submission through territory. They can attack you from anywhere when opportunities arise. This versatility makes them exceptionally difficult to prepare against. But there's another element to South Africa's success that often gets overlooked. They excel on neutral ground. They don't need home advantage to perform at their best. In fact, some of their most impressive victories have come away from South African soil. They won the World Cup in France. They claimed the Rugby Championship with a victory at Twickenham. They defeated New Zealand in Wellington. This ability to perform anywhere, under any conditions against any opponent, is a hallmark of true champions. Ireland's case for being the best team in world rugby is equally compelling, just built on different foundations. They have been remarkably consistent for several years, maintaining elite performance levels across multiple seasons. They dominated the Six Nations Championship, proving their superiority in European rugby. They have developed a playing style that combines intelligence, precision, and relentless pressure. And they have built a squad culture that produces performances where every player understands their role and executes it with discipline. The Irish playing style is structured, organized, and incredibly difficult to break down. Their defensive system suffocates opponents, forcing errors and creating turnovers. Their attack is patient, methodical, and clinical when opportunities present themselves. They don't rely on individual brilliance as much as they rely on collective execution. Every player does their job. Every phase has a purpose, and every mistake by the opposition gets punished. It's rugby as chess match rather than rugby as physical war. Ireland's home record is exceptional. They rarely lose in Dublin, and when they do lose at home, it's considered a major upset. They have beaten major Southern Hemisphere opponents on Irish soil, proving they can compete with anyone. They have produced performances that showcased rugby of the highest quality, combining technical excellence with tactical intelligence. And they have built a reputation as one of the smartest, best coached teams in world rugby. So we have two teams with compelling cases for being number one. South Africa has the rankings, the World Cup, the championship titles, and the proven ability to win anywhere. Ireland has the consistency, the home dominance, the tactical sophistication, and the ability to suffocate even the best opponents. The question is which approach would prevail if they met on neutral ground with equal preparation and everything on the line. This is where the debate gets fascinating. South Africa would likely approach such a contest by imposing their physicality early. They would target Ireland's forwards, testing whether the Irish pack can match Springbok power over 80 minutes. They would use their scrum as a weapon, their line-out as a platform, and their maul as a battering ram. If they can dominate territory and possession through forward power, they can then deploy their attacking threats when defenses tire. Ireland would likely approach the same contest with structure and discipline. They would aim to neutralize South Africa's forward advantage through superior organization. They would look to create turnovers through aggressive defense. They would use their kicking game to pin the Springboks deep in their own territory. And they would look to exploit any breakdown in South African discipline through quick phases and precise execution. The rankings themselves spark debate about what they actually measure. South Africa's ranking reflects victories across multiple tournaments against various opponents in different conditions. They have beaten teams home and away in good weather and bad, when fresh and when exhausted from brutal schedules. Their ranking represents sustained excellence across diverse challenges. Ireland's ranking reflects similar sustained excellence but within a different context. Their Six Nations performances carry significant weight. Their home victories against touring Southern Hemisphere teams matter. Their consistency across seasons counts heavily, but they play fewer matches against the absolute elite compared to South Africa's rugby championship schedule. Does that make their ranking less valid? Not necessarily, but it does raise questions about how rankings account for strength of schedule. Then there's the stylistic matchups to consider. South Africa's physicality against Ireland's structure creates an intriguing tactical battle. If the Springboks can impose their physical game and disrupt Irish organization, they likely win. If Ireland can maintain their structure and force South Africa into playing their style, they likely win. It becomes a contest of whose game plan prevails rather than simply whose players are better. Squad depth is another consideration. South Africa has developed remarkable depth across their squad. They can rotate half their team and barely drop in performance level. This depth allows them to stay fresh across grueling schedules and gives them options to adapt to any situation. Ireland also has good depth, but perhaps not to the same extent as South Africa's options across the board. The coaching battle adds another layer. Rassie Erasmus has proven himself as one of the great tactical minds in rugby history. His ability to adapt, his willingness to innovate, and his skill at man management have created a dynasty. Ireland's coaching staff under Andy Farrell has also proven exceptional, creating systems that maximize every player's contribution and building a culture of excellence. In a single match between these teams, the coaching battle could prove decisive. Weather and conditions would matter significantly. South Africa typically performs well in any conditions, having prepared in diverse environments across the Southern Hemisphere. Ireland is obviously comfortable in Northern Hemisphere conditions, but has also performed well when touring. Neither team would have a clear advantage based on conditions alone, but both would need to adapt their approach based on what the day presents. The breakdown is another crucial battleground. South Africa has powerful breakdown operators who can win quick ball or slow opposition possession. Ireland's breakdown work is technical and disciplined, focused on creating turnovers through positioning rather than just power. The team that controls the breakdown likely controls the match, and both have proven capability in this area. Set pieces become even more important in a tight contest between elite teams. South Africa's scrum is typically dominant, but Ireland's scrum has also proven capable against anyone. The line-out battle could be fascinating, with both teams having effective throwing, jumping, and calling. Small edges and set pieces could prove decisive in a close match. Then there's the question of game management and composure. South Africa has shown they can stay composed when behind, trusting their systems and finding ways to win even when trailing. Ireland has shown similar composure, though they haven't been tested in as many desperate situations as South Africa has faced and overcome. In a tight contest decided by small moments, composure often matters more than talent. The bench impact cannot be ignored. South Africa's bomb squad has revolutionized how teams use their bench, bringing fresh power when opponents are tiring. Ireland's bench is also strong, providing quality replacements who maintain standards. But South Africa's approach to bench usage has proven particularly effective in close matches where fresh legs make enormous differences. There's also the intangible element of belief. South Africa believes they can beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. That belief comes from having done it repeatedly, at the highest level. Ireland believes in their system and their preparation. Both forms of belief are valid, but they manifest differently under extreme pressure. One is born from conquering adversity, the other is born from disciplined excellence. Which proves stronger in a single high-stakes contest is impossible to predict. The truth is that both teams have earned their positions at the top of world rugby. South Africa, through conquering diverse challenges across multiple tournaments and proving they can win anywhere against anyone. Ireland, through sustained excellence, tactical sophistication, and building an almost impregnable fortress at home. Both approaches are valid, both have proven successful, and both represent the absolute pinnacle of professional rugby. So who is really the best team in world rugby? The honest answer is that we won't know for certain until they meet on neutral ground with equal preparation and everything on the line. Rankings reflect reality. South Africa is number 1 because they've earned it in every possible way. Ireland is number 3 because despite their excellence, they haven't proven they can do what the Springboks do consistently. Win anywhere against anyone when it matters most.